I have talked about this website / app for quite a while. It's called the Backstitch app, and it was founded by some folks. I believe they're in like Norway or the Netherlands. And I did actually reach out to the folks at Backstitch to see if they wanted to talk about what's going on. I haven't heard back yet, so maybe I sent them an email earlier in the week. But Backstitch or formerly known as Backstitch, is a really cool tool where you can sort of organize your sewing projects, your fabric, and your pattern stash. So you can upload all of your fabrics, you can upload all of the patterns you have, or you can, like, it might already be in the database. It's sort of like, it's been compared to Ravelry for the knitting community, and there are some similarities. There's also a community aspect. And again, if you're not familiar, I do have some other videos here on the channel and over on the main Sewing Report channel about what it is. But I do think that could be a really big thing for the sewing community. There's a free version. There's also like a very low price subscription version, but you don't really need it. And I think it's really cool. So I actually I signed up for it. I'm at Sewing Report if you want to find me there. People are talking. You can share notes about different patterns. So if there's some things that you specifically want to share with other people, you can do that. You can review patterns, and it's becoming a really good sort of aggregate site for all of the patterns that are out there, from the major, mainstream companies to all of the indie patterns. I think it's really cool. So last week I did talk about this, but the Backstitch app was running into some legal issues over a United States trademark issue. So we did touch on that, and they had announced that they were going to be changing the name. So this past week, they finally announced what this name change is. So let me bring this up here. So Backstitch is now going to be known as Threadloop. I know it's going to be a while. It's going to take me a while to get used to. But here is the announcement, and this is on. I know I keep wanting to call it Backstitch, but it's now called Threadloop. So here is the announcement from the founders. So it says, we've changed our name. Dear members, following a recent trademark dispute, we decided to change our name from Backstitch to Threadloop. You shouldn't really notice much of a difference except a new logo here and there. We're currently redirecting any pages on the backstitch.app domain to threadloop.app. So that is the new website. But we recommend updating any bookmarks and creating a new home screen shortcut if you're using that. There might be some other unexpected errors happening, so please let us know if you're having any issues. An unfortunate side effect of this name change is that Instagram decided to suspend our account. Oh boy. Well, that doesn't sound fun. Which really, really sucks. We're crossing our fingers that we will get it back pending an appeal, but we're not too hopeful. So are they going to have to start again? Let me check out let me see if they're still on Instagram. That's terrible if they have to do that. Man, let's see if we can find it. All right, so is Threadloop here? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. So, wow. So if you were following Backstitch on Instagram, you may have to, refollow them whenever I guess they'll start a new account. Yeah, I'm not seeing them on Instagram. That is, wow. Okay, yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. So, all right, if you're following them on Instagram, I'm going to assume they're going to start another account. You'll have to refollow them. So just kind of remind yourself to do that. Wow. Anyway, here's to our new name. What do you think? So here's the new logo. I actually like the name. I think Threadloop makes sense. It is a little bit, it doesn't quite roll off the tongue, but I do like the name. I think the logo is cool. And here are some of the comments. So yeah, people seem pretty jazzed about the change. I was able to use my same username and password, so I didn't have to change anything or re-sign up. Wow, that stinks, so that they might have to get a new Instagram account. And if you do want to join Threadloop, it's open as like a beta right now, so you have to like sign up to get an invite. Let me see if I can get the, I'm going to see if I can get the link, and I'll stick it in the chat here. It was in their Instagram. Yeah, it was in their Instagram link. Wow, okay, that's unfortunate though, if they lost the Instagram account. All right, let me see if I can find. And in the segment I did last week, if you see the video I uploaded, you can also find the link there for signing up for the beta. Let me make sure this still works. It was like a Google Doc form, and you could sign up there. Let me see if this is still. Okay, yeah, this still works. All right, I'll put the link in the chat here if you would like to sign up for the beta. And it might take like a few days or like a week or so. I don't know how backlogged they are. There's been a lot of interest though in this tool. I think it's really neat. So here, I'll show you the homepage here. So you can kind of see what other people are working on. There's a community aspect. You can see like honest reviews about patterns. It's a cool thing. You can also see like what patterns other people are sewing, what's trending. I think it's very cool. All right, incomplete designer entries. Okay, also there's like a discussion. There's like a community discussion thing, so you can kind of see this. All right, here's pattern discussions. You can discuss patterns and other things. Sewing help and advice. I think this would be great, especially for beginner sewists, to get help from other people. You can chat with other people. I think this is super cool. And I'm really glad that they decided to, you know, again, I understand that the trademark dispute probably would be pretty costly to try to fight. So, I mean, I think they're doing... they probably made the best... I'm sure they probably made the best decision for this company. Yeah, and, you know, it is what it is. So here's patterns. But yeah, lots of cool stuff. Yeah, and look at, you can really search for patterns. They're adding new features all the time. I think this is a really great tool. And I do want to see this grow because I think this is awesome. Like, look at this. And you can also discover patterns you didn't know about. You can see what people liked, didn't like about patterns. And I just think this is super awesome. So I really am hoping that they'll get back to me because I would love to talk to the creators just about the app, share some of the behind the scenes stuff, you know, and talk about where to go from here. So that is the latest with the app formerly known as Backstitch, now known as Threadloop. So they do have a new name, just a heads up. Yeah, I think it's super cool. All right, so we got Debbie, my account converted seamlessly onto Threadloop. I hope their Instagram account is restored soon. Me too. Like, they didn't do anything wrong if they just change the name. You know, sometimes that happens, and I do really hope that Instagram helps them out. So that would be, yeah, hopefully. All right, Denise, I love the wordplay of Threadloop. Loop as in a thread loop, and loop as in the loop conversationally.